Ile Aux Aigrettes is a 26-hectare coralline island off the southeast coast of Mauritius. It harbors one of the last remnants of coastal ebony-rich forests that is almost extinct on the mainland. In the past, the native flora and fauna of the island were almost destroyed for logging and the invasion of introduced plants and animals. Ile Aux Aigrettes has 77 species of endemic and native plants, with around 20 that are critically endangered. It was declared a nature reserve in 1965, and ecological restoration started in 1985 by the Mauritian Wildlife Foundation. Since 2019, we obtained funding from UNEP for the WIOSAP to support the ongoing restoration work on Ile Aux Aigrettes. Every morning, our group of 13 restoration laborers come to the island to tackle one of the biggest issues in plant conservation, which is alien invasive plants such as false acacia. These are plants that were introduced to Mauritius from other countries in the past and are now invading our native forest. The removal of those weeds frees the native plants of competition and enhance their natural regeneration. The island has already been fully weeded, but we still need to conduct maintenance weeding every year to remove the invasive plants that are regenerating, as the seeds of some species can remain viable for up to 20 years in the ground. Our laborers team has the tedious work of manually removing the invasive plant, as we do not use herbicide on the island, which can impact the native biodiversity. We also use a tree popper to uproot and remove bigger plants. In some areas of the island, we also introduce endemic and native plants, which are plants that are naturally found in Mauritius, and some of them are found nowhere else in the world. We have a nursery where we propagate plants for reintroduction. Pascal is a nursery supervisor and a horticulturalist, and he works closely with other members of the flora team. He collects seeds and cuttings, which he propagates and grows the plants that we need for the restoration of Ile Aux Aigrettes. He spends long hours taking care of the plants by removing weeds, watering, removing pests such as insects, so we can have healthy plants to put back on the island. Seabirds were also reintroduced to the island in the past as part of the ecosystem restoration work. Seabirds are the most threatened bird group worldwide and are important in island system, as they bring marine nutrients on the island through their guano, regurgitation of fish, their carcasses and eggshells. This input of nutrients supports a healthier and higher density of plants, which means more invertebrates, which in turn benefits the land birds and reptiles which live on the island. Thus, the presence of seabirds on islands has a beneficial cascading effect on the whole ecosystem, which becomes more productive and benefits the marine ecosystem around the island as well. Seabirds used to occur on Ile Aux Aigrettes, but disappeared due to poaching and predation by invasive species such as rats, which have now been eradicated. Since 2009, we have set up the Seabird project to bring back seabirds on the island through translocation and rearing of chicks of 6 different seabird species, which include tropic birds, sooty terns, noddies, and shearwaters. We are maintaining seabird-friendly habitat on the island, which are naturally open areas where we have introduced native plants that are suitable for seabirds. We are also using seabird attractants to encourage the seabird to come back. We have deployed seabird decoys in some areas and also have a seabird call playback system in place. These techniques are used to make the island more appealing to the seabirds and attract them back to the island to nest, and in the long term will create the lost seabird colonies. It is important to spread the message about the unique relationship between seabirds and biodiversity on islands, and we held a training session with staff from several departments such as Flora, Landbird, Reptile and Ecotours team to explain the Seabird project and also have their support in reporting any seabird sightings on the island. We did a PowerPoint presentation, and this was followed by an activity in the field. We also spread the message to students, visitors, and researchers to the island and through social media. Ecosystem restoration is a long-term process and requires decades of dedication and long-term resources, especially the control of the invasive plants and establishing self-sustainable populations of native plants and animals. Ile Aux Aigrettes is an outstanding example of a restoration program that works, and the Mauritian Wildlife Foundation, in collaboration with local and international partners, will continue the restoration effort, which is helping to conserve the threatened biodiversity of Mauritius.